Shields up, Ironbreakers, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Wilds. Another day, another weapon overview, and today is truly a special day, as today we get another one of my babies, the Charge Blade. And let me tell you something. You know, we talked about runtime on the Gunlance one, and I know that the Hunting Horn got like 1 more second in on me, which is okay, fine, whatever. But holy crap, the Charge Blade has a runtime of a whopping 1 minute and 22 seconds, making it currently the longest weapon overview so far. I still think that the Gunlance is more important, but you know, it is what it is. We're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna see everything that we've got coming for us on the Charge Blade section. And by the way, it looks from the thumbnail that this is a new armor. Judging real quickly just from what I'm seeing on the thumbnail here, this almost seems like a modified version of one of the Kadaki variants. Like, considering that Pyrochna Kadaki was a little bit more red, maybe that, but it might just be a new spider monster instead, because the design of this is still very different from Rachna Kadaki, which was much more bridal and, you know, in the undertones and whatnot. But let's jump into the actual video. We're going to watch the whole thing once, and then we're going to watch it again, pause it, do all the usual stuff, okay? Let's go. A versatile weapon that can morph between 2 different modes. Sword mode allows you to maneuver yourself quickly and accurately. Okay, yep. Charge files while in sword mode to power up axe mode. Dish out massive damage with axe mode. Ooh. Charge files can power up different aspects of the weapon. And I know which one's coming after. Oh! Oh my god, that looks so good. That looks so good. There's so many things to look over here. Although, from a purely moveset perspective, not that much has changed, which makes sense because this is one of the weapons that a lot of people consider to be, it's the most complex weapon ever, even though, in my opinion, I think it's one of those weapons that's just kind of like hard to learn. But once you kind of get into it, the flow of weaving in and out of the different modes and whatnot is actually fairly intuitive. But let's jump in here. Okay, so first things first. Looking at this armor, this definitely is from some type of spider monster. It can be one of the Kadakis, but if it is a Kadaki, it would be a different version of it. I don't remember. No, Nersilla's armor looks kind of like one of those Power Ranger armors, if I remember correctly, right? One of those weird Japanese series mecha type things. You know, well, I know Power Rangers mecha very different, but you guys get the idea. The overall aesthetics of the Nersilla outfit go for that, unless they drastically changed it for this. I don't think this would be Nersilla. It might be a Kadaki variant because it does invoke some of those themes, but, you know, that's pretty much where it ends. Now, an interesting thing is I'm actually not the biggest fan of the different sounds that we got going for this one. Maybe it's different versions of Charge Blade have different sounds, but they almost feel, they gave me a vibe almost of like fencing in a way, whereas I kind of want the Charge Blade to feel more meaty in the way that it sounds. Again, initial impressions. But overall, this set looks really, really nice. So, yeah. We have the Charge Slash right there. I love the fact that the male gets like this Bloodborne-like hat. That's really cool. Versatile weapon that can morph between 2 modes. Aw, the Charge Blade shield didn't get a strap. Now I'm looking at it because like I'm super attentive to shields and stuff. You guys know shields up. I like shields, and I really appreciate it. The Gunlance shield has a strap. I was hoping this one would have one too. Still, doesn't matter. So we see the morphing of the axe here. Okay, so this is just standard combos. They're showing us that, you know, you can do your charge slash, you do your sweeping slash. These sweeping slashes are so good. Love it, love it. So, was that in yellow? I wasn't paying attention to the UI. Also, this is probably loud, I'm sorry. Let me see here. Was that in yellow? Okay, it is yellow. And now they're loading up files. That gives you 3 files for yellow. Okay, yep, works pretty much the same. Okay, there's a thing there. So the first attack didn't use a file. The second one did. Okay, so they followed it up with a file consuming attack. Okay, okay. So very important thing here is that we see a follow-up to the cancel super element. It's just an amped elemental discharge instead of a super amped elemental discharge, which is what you see here. This is what you would get, like, if you're about to do a super amped elemental discharge, but right at the tail end you press back and triangle on a PlayStation controller, or back and Y on an Xbox controller, you get the amped elemental discharge, or what you get if your shield is not charged, which I don't think it was charged here. Well, we can't actually see the UI, so we don't know. But, you know, this is the amped elemental discharge, and the amped elemental discharge hits it in the head, unloads 3... It costs 1 file, but you get 3 file explosions in the head. And it looks like there's a follow-up to it now, which is this next move that he's about to do. Boom. Which is actually pretty cool. This almost looks like a move out of Switch Axe. Switch Axe has a move somewhat similar to this. Boom. And that is likely a guard point, because look at the way in which it finishes. Right? Look at the way in which the attack finishes. Ready to guard. I would imagine that this is also a guard point, which is really, really cool. So you do your amped elemental discharge, and then you do a follow-up to the amped elemental discharge, and it ends in a guard point, which, if the monster hits you while you're doing that, you can then follow it up with another amped elemental discharge if you still have files, which is pretty badass. I mean, again, I'm assuming this is just taking, you know, into account the current moveset of the Charge Blade. You know, that's what, if you get a guard point in there, you'd be able to follow that up into another amped elemental discharge. Those files can power up different elements of the weapon, so here we obviously see you can power up the sword, you can power up the shield. Powering up the shield makes it so that whenever you do guard points, your shield deals file damage back to the monster. The type of files this weapon has is impact files, so they also cause stun damage and all that good stuff. So yeah, this is very much the usual stuff. And then I'm very curious about how you charge Axe Mode, because right now, the way that you charge Axe Mode in, say, Iceborne, is you just do the same move as you would do for Super Amped Elemental Discharge, except instead of canceling it into your right trigger, which would then charge up your shield, you cancel it into your left trigger, which is usually the thing that is used for most Clutch Claw type abilities, and that would charge up your axe. But I think it's going to be different this time around, and I don't think they showed it. So here, we're charging up the shield. Here, we're charging up the blade, which, by the way, if you're new to Charge Blade, first you always have to charge up the shield, and only after you charge up the shield you can charge up the blade. You can't charge up the blade without charging up the shield. And now they're going to go for the Axe Mode, but it seems like Axe Mode is going to be a focus strike, because you can see that we're going into focus mode here. We got the targeting reticule, you got all the wounds being displayed, and then we get this focus strike right here, which looks really nice. Sorry, YouTube kind of had a little bit of a brain fart there. Let's watch that again more smoothly. And that is Savage Axe. Okay, that is strange. That is really strange. So something here is causing me to question stuff that I've seen On other weapons, like for instance on the greatsword, I pointed out that like, hey, you guys hear that noise? Boof. You hear that noise again here midway through a combo, which means that might have not been a sneak attack because I thought that that noise would signify the sneak attack. Like, look, right here. So for starters, this one looks really gorgeous. Now, I think that what's going to happen here is potentially, in order for you to go into Savage Axe mode, you have to do a focus strike thing. No, that wouldn't make sense. They want you to be able to charge Axe mode, so maybe it's a lot more simpler. Again, these overviews don't really show you everything that you definitely want to see, right? But this is definitely one of the weapons that I'm going to be checking out at Gamescom. I want to check out Gun Lance, Charge Blade, and Sword and Shield because I know I'm not going to have time to really dedicate to every single weapon, so I'm trying to focus on like 3, maybe 4. I don't know what the 4th one would be. Probably Insect Glaive, because that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to have questions about too. But the point is, I don't think that they would lock Savage Axe mode behind a focus strike. Because like you see Savage Axe here, this is clearly Savage Axe, and it's a really cool usage of Savage Axe as their wound breaking ability. I love that. That is really, really cool. You just get chainsaw mode, but then you see them go into Savage Axe here as well. Wait, was there a cut there? That was not, that did not flow seamlessly. There was a cut, right? No, it seems like it's flowing. It's so weird. But anyway, we see a guard point here as well. I almost missed it, this guard point. Like, look. Boom, that's a guard point. Nice sound on the guard point. Really let you know, like, you've hit a guard point. Here you go. And then he follows it up with... He followed up the guard point with a Savage Axe swing? Now that is cool. He followed up the guard point with a Savage Axe swing. That's pretty badass. See, I thought that this one would be the sneak attack because this attack is where you hear like... They're giving it like a more cinematic thing. Also, I love the new... another important thing. This right here. Super Amped Elemental Discharge. Look how clumped up the hits are. It still went a little bit further into the monster, which is to be expected, but it's definitely not going on the level of something like Rise, where people were like, bro, like... There's no monster that can take this amount of distance between file discharges, okay? It's just not happening, right? But yeah, so it feels like the file discharges are a little bit more clumped up, which is good for us Charge Blade users. That is definitely something that we want to see. And the other thing I wanted to point out, I love this. I love the way that they're doing the guard points. Because like, for instance, that right there, that has to be a guard point. When she's in this stance, this is 1,000,000% a guard point. There's no way you're going to convince me this is not a guard point. So I love the fact that they're putting guard points midway into the axe combo. I mean, you already have that, but usually it's when you're switching between axe mode and sword mode. That's when you get those. And I don't think she makes the switch here, right? See, she keeps going and goes into the Super Amped Elemental Discharge. This looks phenomenal. This looks absolutely fantastic. I love the way the weapon looks. Again, my biggest complaint is that I actually feel like I like the sounds of Monster Hunter World more than I like the sounds here, which is strange because in the Gun Lance it was the other way around. I was like, oh yes, big beefy explosion sounds. Love that. But in here it feels like when you're in sword mode, the sounds are a little bit more tame than they are in the other ones. We can also see that when you charge the sword, it's still doing file discharges, which is obviously that's the way that it was going to go, but just in case there was any question there. But I'm definitely loving the fact that there are several axe attacks that end in what, again, appears to be a guard point. But it's like usually the way that the animation team works when it comes to Monster Hunter is like if it looks like a duck, it probably quacks like a duck, at least when it comes to Charge Blade. It's very intuitive to figure out where the guard points are. So that's cool. I also really like this one. The friggin' Savage Axe Focus Strike. Phenomenal. I think that there might actually be a cut there. Like I should actually go frame by frame here just to see this part. Okay, so wait, whoa, YouTube, chill. We're gonna go frame by frame, baby. I need to see if there's a cut here. So it's attacking it, right? Yeah, this is a cut. This is not like the same thing. This is in a different location even. Okay, so yes, this is a sneak attack. It's just the way in which it was edited, it almost looked like it wasn't a sneak attack, but this is 100%. You can even see the character's crouching down, right? See how she's crouching down? Yeah, this is the sneak attack. So I was actually correct. When I said the thing about the great sword and how that was the sneak attack, this one is also the sneak attack, 100%. Not a big fan of this one, though. I wish the sneak attack would incorporate, like, axe mode. That's what you would want to do for a sneak attack. You want to bring out axe mode. But still, these two attacks with the sword are probably going to deal a crap ton of damage, if I had to guess. That would be my guess. But yeah, this is looking absolutely phenomenal. Charge Blade main's eating good here for sure. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.